Hello everyone, this is Tyler here. Quick topic here is how gamma men in Estonia can use MGTOWism to feel better about themselves. Quick disclaimer here is that as we know, there's often 4 or 5 main categories of men. There's the alpha, sigma, beta, gamma, and even lambda type of man. Typically the alpha and sigma are the two better ones, or two preferred ones in the West for dating, and the beta and the gamma is usually on the bottom two. Not necessarily. It all depends on a society though. Often though, this 4th category, often there's 5. There's also a lambda, which is considered the very lowest, but the gamma is often on the lower side, or the 4th lowest. It has a lot of issues and problems with dating, and this is everywhere in the world. This is not just here in Estonia. This is in US, Canada, Europe, Africa. It's everywhere. This is just a category of guys that tends to kind of get the shaft, so to speak. They just have a difficult time dating. Quick tidbit here is that I myself, while I didn't consider myself in any of these categories when I was in high school, I probably was more on the lower spectrum, honestly. I definitely wasn't a alpha. I wasn't a sigma at that time, and overall I just didn't really have a lot of success with dating. My brother had much better success when he was in high school than myself. It actually wasn't until university this really started to change big time, in post-university of course. Understand also that men have different phases of development. From man to man, a guy who's 15, who's very physically developed, is unquestionably going to have an easier time with dating just by their physical merits when they're in high school than a guy who's very undeveloped, who hasn't really grown into themselves, so to speak. This is just a fact of life, and it's not a big deal, honestly. This is biology. It's not a big issue in the big scheme of things. It's important to understand also that in high school, these different classifications of alpha, beta, sigma, gamma are more assigned based on physical characteristics more so than other social and personal characteristics such as wealth, status, level of game, social network that actually play a big role. It's not just your looks. The looks is just one factor, and as you'll discover as a man, as you get older, looks play less and less significance in the equation often. Even in my life, looking at the difference from 20 to 28, how looks has, this factor has changed. It's very interesting. I noticed this, even not being that much older, becomes less important compared to those other factors I mentioned here. Just understand that. And also understand that the guy who's 15, when they're 28 or 30, might actually look a lot better than the guy that was really developed and physically grown up looking when they're 30. Often, if you develop earlier, you'll age earlier likewise, and if you develop later, you'll also age in the same fashion. This is pretty common thing. It's important though to understand that being a gamma guy, it's not really a big deal, honestly. Like I said before, I myself was not considered high on the social hierarchy in high school, but as you get older, you'll notice this really isn't a big deal. And I understand that there are a lot of gamma men, or men that would fall into this category here in Estonia. There's especially guys who are in their teens or early 20s. Generation Z is probably a big area of this category. This group, though, I think can really benefit from facets of MGTOWism, because often they feel really kind of left out with the dating, with relationships, and just feel that they're kind of screwed over. The key here is being able to focus on your own well-being, feeling good how you are, and just being able to get the most out of life on your own, not needing a partner. As I stated before, a lot of the rank of importance of traits of men and how their S&V is assigned is often based on factors that they can control, especially as they get older. What you'll find is that a guy could be in one of the lower categories when they're 50, by the time they're 25 or 30, they could be in the top category. Also understand that the peak men are classified according to S&B often actually doesn't reach the highest point until late 20s or even early 30s. This is a really interesting thing. And for those younger guys out there, just understand that. I myself, I didn't have a lot of opportunities for dating actually when I was like 20. I would of course seek out the often 18, 19, even 20-year-old girls, and most of them I didn't have success with. The funny thing now though is that as a 28-year-old, I have many more opportunities with that age group, 18, 19, and 20, than I did when I was 20. It's crazy. Because some people may think that this is a huge age gap, but some of you guys out there, especially late bloomers, will actually have more opportunities as you get into these older years. I'm fortunate too because I haven't aged real quickly, so I think I still have a younger appearance than others my age, which helps. Just understand though that your SMV, a lot of it is associated with things that you can do, and that's why I said it's not a big deal if you're considered gamma. When you're like 18, 19, 22, you could still work on facets of life that would greatly increase your SMB in just a few years. You can, of course, physically you can improve, but especially financially on social areas. Those are two big areas. Even just financial, if you can get your financial area, such as both your wealth, the career you do, maybe it's like starting a business and growing a business, just becoming a more prominent figure in whatever it is you're doing, this in itself is way more impact than being the most physically strong, the most talkative person. This in itself carries a lot of clout. You'll carry a lot of flex, honestly. And this is why you could be the shortest, baldest, and ugliest guy in the room, and if you had a lot of wealth, you would fare better than any other guy in that room if they weren't comparable to you most of the time. And this is just how it is in society. So this is my first segment of this video, and I look forward to all of your feedback, and just get out there and get your hands dirty. So this is my first part or segment to this video. I look forward to your feedback.